The towering glass building of Strathmore Enterprises glimmered in the morning sunlight, a beacon of prestige and success. Inside, the buzz of corporate life was relentless. Among the employees navigating the maze of office cubicles was Eleanor Ellie Prescott, a talented marketing strategist in her early 30s. Her auburn hair, always neatly tied, and piercing blue eyes gave her a magnetic presence. Ellie had worked hard to reach her position in a male-dominated industry, and her focus was unwavering until she met him. Thomas "Tom" Whitaker was the new chief financial officer. He was in his late 40s, with salt and pepper hair and a voice that commanded attention. His confidence was palpable, his charm effortless. Ellie first noticed him during a quarterly review meeting. Their eyes met briefly across the room, and she felt an inexplicable pull. Tom, too, found himself intrigued by Ellie's intelligence and poise. After the meeting, Tom approached Ellie. "Impressive presentation," he said, his warm smile disarming her. "You've got a knack for simplifying complex ideas." "Thank you, Mr. Whitaker," she replied, her voice steady despite the fluttering in her chest. "It's all part of the job." "Call me Tom," he said, his gaze lingering. "I'd love to hear more about your strategies. How about coffee sometime?" Ellie hesitated but agreed. It was, after all, just coffee, or so she thought. Their first coffee meeting turned into a series of discussions about work, life, and everything in between. Ellie found herself drawn to Tom's wisdom and charisma. Tom, on the other hand, was captivated by Ellie's passion and ambition. Despite their age difference and professional boundaries, an undeniable connection blossomed. One evening, after a particularly stressful day, Tom invited Ellie to dinner. Over candlelight and wine, their conversations grew more personal. Tom spoke of his strained marriage with his wife, Margaret, and how they had grown distant over the years. Ellie empathized but kept her feelings guarded. "You deserve happiness, Tom," she said softly. "And you deserve someone who sees your worth," he replied, his voice thick with emotion. Their hands brushed as they reached for the wine bottle, and for a moment, the world around them faded. But Ellie quickly withdrew, conflicted by the growing attraction. Weeks turned into months, and their relationship deepened. Late-night emails turned into secret rendezvous. Their chemistry was electric, and despite their best efforts to keep things professional, they couldn't resist each other. One rainy evening, after a company gala, Tom and Ellie found themselves alone in the parking lot. The tension between them reached its breaking point. "Ellie, I can't stop thinking about you," Tom confessed, his voice trembling. "This isn't right," she whispered, though her resolve was crumbling. But when Tom leaned in, Ellie didn't pull away. Their kiss was a mixture of passion and desperation, sealing the beginning of their clandestine affair. Balancing their affair with their professional lives became a delicate dance. They were careful to avoid suspicion, but in the corporate world, secrets rarely stayed hidden. Whispers began to circulate, and Ellie felt the weight of guilt pressing down on her. Meanwhile, Margaret, Tom's wife, started to notice changes in her husband's behavior. He was more distracted, his phone always close by. She hired a private investigator, determined to uncover the truth. Ellie, too, struggled with her conscience. She had never envisioned herself as the other woman, and the betrayal of Margaret, whom she'd never met, haunted her. But her love for Tom was overpowering. "We can't keep doing this," Ellie told Tom one evening. "It's not fair to anyone." "I'll leave her," Tom promised. "Just give me time." Margaret's private investigator delivered the evidence she needed. Heartbroken but resolute, she confronted Tom. "How could you do this to me?" Margaret demanded, tears streaming down her face. "After everything we've built together?" Tom was speechless, guilt written all over his face. Margaret's anger turned to resolve as she filed for divorce and demanded a significant share of their assets. At work, rumors about Tom and Ellie's relationship reached the higher-ups. An internal investigation was launched, putting both their careers at risk. Ellie felt her world crumbling around her. Tom and Ellie's affair became public knowledge, causing a scandal that rocked Strathmore Enterprises. Tom resigned to avoid further humiliation, while Ellie was demoted and ostracized by her colleagues. Their once passionate relationship was now tainted by regret and blame. "We've lost everything," Ellie said bitterly one evening. "Was it worth it?" Tom looked at her, his eyes filled with remorse. "I thought we could have it all. I was wrong." Ellie decided to leave the city, seeking a fresh start. She enrolled in a business program, determined to rebuild her life and learn from her mistakes. Tom, too, tried to make amends, reconnecting with his children and focusing on self-improvement. Years later, Ellie became a successful entrepreneur. She often thought about Tom but knew their chapter had closed. The lessons she learned from their affair shaped her into a stronger, wiser person. As she stood in her new office, overlooking a bustling city, Ellie felt a sense of peace. Her journey had been tumultuous, but she had emerged resilient. Love and betrayal had taught her the importance of integrity and self-respect, lessons she carried with her as she forged a path forward.